And the story is similar in the Gambia. In 2009, the Gambian police hacked into the internet website and email subscriber list of a US-based online newspaper critical of the government. With the data, they summoned contributors and subscribers and jailed 3 journalists, subsequently releasing 2 of them, but detaining the 3rd without formally filing charges against him. Malik Mbub, a former journalist with the Daily Observer, was locked up for 6 months. He joins me now on the news for more on his experience behind bars. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Tell us about why and how you were arrested and subsequently detained.
Well, this was way back on the 24th of March 2005 when I was invited to the defunct National Intelligence Agency headquarters in Banjul to answer to some queries. Upon arrival, I was just kept in one room for like 24 hours without being told what I have done. Then at night, that same day, I was taken into a cell where I spent the rest of the day together with some other detainees. These include journalists, human rights activists, and other Gambians as well. So we spent the rest of the night until the next day before we were told exactly what we have done. So
basically your arrests had something to do with your profession because you were a journalist. That's why you were arrested.
That's it. Yes, I was practicing because when I was arrested, then I was the communications officer of the main teaching hospital in Banjul. But prior to that, I was a news editor for the Daily Observer newspaper. This was the leading newspaper in Gambia at the time. So when we were told the next day what we've done, they said it's in connection because we are branded as informants to an online US-based website in the US. Particularly my case was, they said I was the informant. I told the reporter that the president's mom, the former president Yahya Jammeh's mom, was diabetic. She was admitted at the hospital at the time. So they accused me of being the one who supplied the reporter with the information. Okay. Yes, which was never true. Because in fact, the time I was accused of this, then I did not even know Freedom newspaper was existing.
How were you treated in detention?
Well, the first day we were just kept like that in the cell. The next day I was invited to the conference room of the then National Intelligence Agency, where I was interrogated for like 2 hours. After the interrogation, my statements were taken. I told them exactly what happened. Then at night of that same day, the former junglers, we all know the junglers in the Gambia, these were soldiers who were at the Presidential Guard at the State House. They invited me to the conference room again at night. This was between 2 a.m. to 3 a.m. in the night. That the statement I gave to the interrogators in the morning, I have to change it. Change it in the sense that I have to confess that I gave the information.
When you actually didn't give that information.
So they gave me 2 options. One, to change the statement and confess that yes, I did admit, or they will dictate me what they want me to write, and I refuse it. So when I refused it, they requested for me to do it several times. I said no. It's either you kill me, but I'm not going to do it. Okay. So I was severely beaten. I have the scars all over my body until now.
Goodness.
I was beaten. In fact, there was a time there when they asked me to say my last prayers, because since I refused to do what they wanted, so they are going to kill me that night. Yeah. So, but I refused. They cocked the gun and they were stopped along the line. But I was severely beaten.
How long never taken to a medical facility. For?
Yes, to be quite honest, I was beaten only once, but it was so severe because you can see blood all over me. And I've never been taken to the main hospital or even to the military hospital for checkup. I was just left like that. And
after that beating, that experience of torture, what happened? Because you said it was the only time
I was beaten, yes.
What happened after that? How were you treated after
Well,
that?
the next day when they came to work, the directors of the intelligence, they were shocked because they knew exactly who were responsible. Because those who tortured me came from the State House. These are military personnel. And in fact, there were over 12 of them. Then they arrested over dozens of us, so we were taken one after the other.
How did you eventually secure your release?
After 6 months in detention, because at the end of the day, we were just left like that. Because I could remember, in our second day, I was taken to my office. They searched everywhere, to my house, but there is nothing that will link me up to Freedom newspaper. Then I was just left like that for 6 months. Then I told my family, yes, this can't work. Because one, either you charge me and take me to court, or you set me free. So I was never charged. I was never taken to court. So I was just left like that for 6 good months. Then after the 6 months, I told my family, please just go to the court.
So the justice system came to your aid?
Yes, after 6 months. So I was
Did
released
the
unconditionally.
government apologize or even compensate you for the legal detention?
Well, they've never done such, because I could remember one of the directors called me into his office that very morning I was released. That, okay, we received directive that we should release you today, but please, if you go out, don't tell the press what happened here.
What happened here?
Yes,
well,
they said I should not, otherwise I will be picked up again.
All right.
But I did not listen to him, because when I went out, BBC called me that very day, and I told them exactly what happened.
And you gave them a blow-down information of what happened.
What happened.
And this is during the tenure of former President Yahya Jammeh.
Yes.
Malik Mbub, we're thankful that you came out unscathed and you're still alive to tell your story.
Thank you.
Former journalist with Daily Observer, and on an exchange program currently from the Gambia with Unilag, and right now undergoing an internship with TVC News. I hope you enjoy it here. Yes,
it's interesting, because if you look at Nigeria, for instance, the news industry or the media industry is booming compared to what happens in my country. That's why when we had the opportunity, our university, that's the University of the Gambia, signing an agreement with the University of Lagos, Unilag. So we were the first batch to come to Unilag to have this experience, whereby we took our last semester courses at Unilag, then come to the mainstream media to do our internship. Well,
all the best in your future endeavors. Malik Mbub, thank you for being here.
Thank you.